Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Not London Narratives. Um, there's a lot going on at Tottenham, and we're here to talk about that today. So, where do we start? I have some talking points here. I wrote Kubo, I wrote Eze, I wrote Morgan Rogers, I wrote Savio, I wrote Nkapie, Romero. So let's start with the two, or let's start with Eze, because that's the one that everybody wants to hear about. So let's start with Eze. Iberici is being linked with a move to Tottenham, and honestly, I am tired of talking about this one. He's a player that's been linked to us for like what 2, 3 years now, and every year he's been linked, and it looks like at this moment it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Hopefully, it is something that happens before the uh the Man City game, which would do us the world of good if it happens before the City game. I think we need this player. We need players in general. We need a Savio. We need an Eze. We need so many players right now. And I think the players like this would do us the world of good. And I think that, funny enough, a lot of people have been talking about how we need a number 10. But right now, I don't think that if Eze comes to this team, Eze plays as a number 10. And I'm saying this because I think that this position here, we have a huge hole there as Tottenham Hotspur. We have a huge hole there. And currently, the crop of players that we have are honestly not good enough for what we're trying to be and what we're trying to do. So I think that against Manchester City, we're going to use this lineup. I think this is how we're going to look against City. Jet Spence just signed a new contract. Exciting times. Romero just signed a new contract. Who would have thought? Thank God he did. Maybe that's why they gave him the captaincy. Um, so our goalkeeper, where is he? Yeah. So I think this is currently what we used against the. This is currently what we used against. What's their name again? Burnley. Yeah. But I don't think that things are going to look like this. And like I said yesterday in my video, I think this is going to be the best setup against City because while we have no creative midfielders at this point in time, I think that Wolves were able to really dominate City, especially in the early stages of the game. And I think that the reason why I keep on talking about teams like City, teams like Liverpool, teams like Chelsea is that a lot of changes are happening in these teams, and because a lot of changes are happening in these teams, it means that a lot of like players might not be up to par right now. They might not be at the level needed, and some of them might still be trying to understand the tactics of the manager. And I'm very grateful to God that we are playing City away game week 2 because as much as people want to complain about our lineup, one advantage that we have, and we saw that in City's game, no, sorry, Manchester United's game against Arsenal. The reason why Manchester United were unable to beat Arsenal was because Manchester United's team has players that are coming into the team. So because players are coming into the team, there were lots of times where there were some loose passes where a player is making a run and the person that is passing to the player didn't necessarily understand what the player was trying to do. But yeah, long story short, let's not talk about Manchester United here. We're talking about Tottenham Hotspur. But long story short, Tottenham Hotspur, as much as people look at the quality of our team and say our team is not good enough, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, this team that we have, this guy was here last season, this guy was here last season. Everybody here, except from this guy, were here last season. And if anything, this guy has taken like a dog to water. And we still need to see some more about Paulinia. So Kudus is as good as being here last season. The only real difference here is Yao Paulinia, which I find incredibly interesting. So now, when you look at Yao Paulinia, that is the only change. So as much as people want to say, oh, this that these guys know how every one of them play football, and here is where I think we have a problem. So if you do this, what is he? You do this. Now we are looking tasty because against the likes of a Manchester City, we're going to be able to be physical in the midfield and win the midfield battle, not by technical ability, but by physicality. And if we win the midfield battle, now we have Kudus that is able to cause danger. But like we saw in the Bayern game, when they realized that Kudus was a threat, they started double marking, triple marking, even four marking, if that's even a word. But yeah, or quadruple marking or whatever. But yeah, they started like putting a lot of men on him to stop him, and then making us give the ball to a Brandon Johnson, who was on the left, I believe. Let me make sure. Let's just make sure so I don't misinform you guys. Bayern versus Spurs. I don't want to misinform you guys. It was 4-0, wasn't it? Yeah, that's it. We had who on the left? We had Brandon Johnson on the left. Yeah, I was right. So yeah, we had Brandon Johnson on the left, and having Brandon Johnson left on the left was a huge problem because they knew we couldn't do anything with Brandon Johnson on the left. So they marked out Kudus and they let us give the ball to Brandon Johnson, knowing that it would break down every time we give the ball to Brandon Johnson. And the difference between that game, if you notice, that game, a lot of the time when we went to the left, the football broke down. But against the PSG, we're able to use Kudus, and unlike PSG, the likes of Edoué and Nuno Mendes couldn't physically dominate a Kudus, and that's the difference between PSG and Bayern. Because a lot of people always talk about how Bayern players look like machines, especially that season when they won the Champions League. If you remember, that was the season. Was that the season? I think early that season was when they gave us 7-2. I believe. Yeah, that season when Poch was at Spurs. Early that season was when they gave us 7-2. I remember that. And everybody was laughing at Spurs, and then they ended up giving people 8-2, 8-2, and crazy stuff. That was around that COVID period. So yeah, I remember that very well. But yeah, like a lot of the time, everybody talks about how Bayern players are so physical, they're so strong, and a lot of people forget how strong Bayern players are. So Ekudus wasn't able to physically dominate them like he was able to do to Nuno Mendes. And I know Nuno Mendes has dominated a lot of what they call them, a lot of wingers this year, but not Kudus. And that's one thing that Kudus has in his locker that is even more priceless um than his skills. Because I remember in previous seasons, the only player that we had that could sort of be our version of Jack Grealish was Kulusevski. And now, because Kulu is out, having Kudus will be able to do that. Like a player that you can just give the ball to and it's a stick. Like he will just be able to keep the ball. Do you get what I'm saying? I use his strength to hold up defenders and bring others into play. That is very important. But yeah, I think that the addition of an Eze against City is going to be vital for us and could really be the difference between us losing that game and us winning that game. Because if you remember against, I think PSG is the example that I can reference this the most to. A lot of our attacks that were not set pieces broke down a lot because our attackers weren't good enough late. But Brennan Johnson is losing the ball. When you have attackers like that losing the ball is a huge problem because whenever the defenders are defending and they are clearing balls out, they're doing whatever, and they give the ball to the attackers, and it's time for the attackers to do their own job. You lose the ball, and then you're coming, the other team is coming right back, and you're under constant pressure. You're under constant pressure over and over again, over and over again. You're facing wave after wave after wave after wave of attack, and that is what happened to our defense the other day, and that is why we lost the game because we're facing wave after wave after wave after wave of attack. And except you're like a Nottingham Forest who basically have been built or structured in a way that they can defend for 90 minutes, or a Crystal Palace that can defend for 90 minutes, it's very difficult for you to not crack under that kind of sustained pressure. And having the likes of having the likes of Kudus, whenever we get the ball forward against City, we'll be able to actually do some damage or at least cause some trouble or ask some questions at least. And that will be in itself a huge difference because having a corner instead of facing a counter attack can be the difference between you winning a game and losing a game, or you drawing a game and you losing a game. Do you get what I'm saying? So having an attacker that can ask questions, even if it's a corner kick, an attacker that can do that might be very important for us against City. And speaking of City, let me just quickly touch on Savio. I asked the Eze Bomber Commission, honestly, I think it's going to happen soon. And I think they're going to try to get him in Jesus Christ. I just said hin as by HIN. God, my traditional tongue. Crazy. But yeah, they're going to try to get him in before the what they call them, the City game, because I don't think that we have a realistic chance of beating City unless we have an easy, at least two players in the attacking positions that can actually cause damage to the opponent. So I think we're going to get easy soon. Shanta, I think we're going to get him soon. Back to Savio. Now, I said this in passing yesterday that I don't think the City are going to sell us Savio until after the City game. Now, the Savio deal looks very tricky at the moment because I don't think that the price that they're asking for is realistic. I think that what City is trying to do is just basically be childish and try to get payback for the Hurricane situation because I think some of the money or the price that they are asking for Savio is quite outrageous. And considering they're asking for like 70 million euros for Savio or 70 million pounds, I don't even know which. But and you're telling me that Rodrigo is going for 100 million pounds or 100 million euros. Sorry, are you telling me that the difference between a Rodrigo and Savio is 30 million euros? That's an absolute joke. So they're basically looking for who is going to fund their Rodrigo signing. And honestly, I don't think that it's going to be us. Shanta, what you said here is very interesting. So let me read it out. You said we have so many options, man. Mitoma. Mitoma, yes. I would agree Mitoma is an option. Now, I've seen a lot of people linking us to Kubo, and I find that very interesting. Considering Kubo is left-footed, aside from Kubo being left-footed, Kubo is a right winger by the way. And maybe when we're looking for a right winger before we got Kudus, I would have understood the Kubo link. But I think it's just one of those things that they're just trying to put out there to sort of keep the pressure on Manchester City because Kubo is a right winger and Kubo is left footed. And while Savio is also left footed, Savio is a left winger, not a right winger. Kubo is a right winger or a number 10. Do you get what I'm saying? He's not a left winger. So I find that very interesting. Leao, Leao is another interesting one. I hope he's going to want to come to us. Lukman is not somebody that I will take. And I know we've had this conversation before, Shanta. Lukman is one of those players that I feel like he's going to play well in an Atalanta where, like I said, Atalanta is a transitional side. But I don't think that Lukman knows how to beat a low block. But let's see. Let's check the data just to be sure. I think we've even gone through this before, but no, sorry. Lukman. Ademola Lukman. Yeah, let's check the data. Why is this happening? Is the thing with my Kenny again? Anyways, but on the positive side, the what they call it, the Starlink stand is here. I tried calling the Wi-Fi guy today, but I was unable to reach him. Unfortunately, his number wasn't going through for some weird reason. So hopefully when I reach him, he's going to be able to help us install the Wi-Fi and I would stop using my data for this. But yeah, it's not working. I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's incredibly weird. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, that's I can't check the Lookman stats right now. But yeah, okay, let's just check him on. I should be able to check him on SofaScore. Yeah, this one works all the time. But that every ref, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. That's weird. Um Ademola Ademola. Okay, while this one loads, I don't know, it's also taking time as well. This has been very frustrating. But anyways, Milan need money. Just pay 70 million rather than Savigno and get a layout. Lukman will be cheaper, will be the cheaper option for last second. Last second. Oh, for last second. Oh, he's around 40 to 45. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get what you're saying, Sha. Okay, so his strengths are long shots, playmaking, his position, his ball control is his weakness. I don't think that a player that cannot control a ball will know how to dribble, Sha, but I can't see the stats here to support that hunch. Um, 66 million euros is his market value. Incredibly interesting. Injury record is fair. He played 40 games last season. Yeah. He had 20 goals. Wow. And 6 assists. The season before, he had 17 goals and 9 assists. 15 goals and 6 assists. That's the thing with all these Atalanta players. They're very hard to judge because I see a lot of people also linking us to um, Charles de Ketelere. Oh, de Ketelere. Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I think he's Belgian or something. But yeah, let me check for him. You guys probably know the guy I'm talking about. The Ketelere or the Keta, yeah, the Ketel. Yes, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but yeah, this guy. Like I see a lot of people linking us to him, and if you watch Atalanta, Atalanta are a team that play in transition. So while a lot of these players look good in transition or in a transitional team, I don't necessarily think that they will look good in a side that dominates possession and have to break down low blocks. It's the same thing with Brandon Johnson, where he could look like an absolute gem of a player in a side where um they are playing in transition and whatever, which is what Atalanta were or are or were under Gasperini. And come to a side where you have to play low blocks every week. It's a different ball game entirely. Do you get what I'm saying? And considering for majority of teams now, I think they would want to sit back on us, but I don't even think that's advisable. If anything, I would recommend teams come at us because now we have the likes of the Kudus could potentially be getting Eze or Savio. These are players that specialize in tearing apart low blocks. Do you get what I'm saying? So even that is not going to be an option, which is very tasty looking for Tottenham Hotspur, and like the how interesting our play will be next season and how we would have so many options in our lockers. So yeah, I just don't want to go to the season with Johnson as the first choice left winger. Anyone but Johnson works. If I'm being honest, I take Lookman over Justin any day. Honestly, I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're trying to say. Let's even check. So Lookman, Ademola, what were his stats last season? Ademola Lookman. So 20 goals, 6 assists. Let's check Brennan because I can't check the data, but I should be able to check. How can a player have no outstanding strengths? How? How do you have no outstanding strengths as a player? You guys, am I think my network is acting weird. But yeah, no outstanding strengths. But yeah, last season, what did he have? He had 18 goals for assists. Okay, okay. It doesn't even compare. It doesn't compare. Lookman had 20 goal contributions and Brennan had 22. Not too far off. But he played more games, like 11 more games. I think Lookman played 40 last season, and he still has better stats. So yeah, that is quite impressive. And Fenerbahce from Turkey just beat 25. Where did you see this? Are you serious? This is another. You know what's funny? Yeah. While you've led us into a chapter, let me just continue. So I was going to talk about how, as don't get it twisted. I am very excited for the prospect of. I've accepted that Eze is coming. I told you guys my problems with the Eze deal. Maybe it was an ego thing, but I just didn't like the fact that we went his first choice, or he didn't seem. It seemed like he wanted to go to Arsenal, and now that Arsenal are coming, he wants to go to Spurs. I just didn't like that. I want players that want to play for my club and my club alone. Do you get what I'm saying? But I've accepted. It looks like he's going to be the one coming, so I'm over that. But this is a conversation I wanted to talk about later down the line. When I wanted to say something about how do you guys realize how we were meant to sign a number 8? And this is something that I feel like a lot of Tottenham fans and like I think this easy news, everybody's just so excited about the easy news that everybody has forgotten a lot of things that are going on this window. So this window, in my opinion, coming into this window, we needed a left back. Let me let me so you know what, let me refresh. So we needed a left back. Let me say Nkapi. I'll put the players that were being linked to potentially a left back slash left center back. And I need you guys to follow me with this because a lot is going on. And I think this Tottenham Hotspur board is getting away with murder because a lot of people, like, when you've stabbed people so much that they don't even know that you've stabbed them, that when you give them crumbs, they are so grateful for the crumbs. And I know I seem very ungrateful, but hear me out. We needed a left back. And I think that left back self should even be in Capi. Left centre back, sorry. We needed a left back as well as a left centre back. But if you get Nkapie, maybe that can solve both. We needed a number 6. We got Yao Paulinia. Yeah? Everybody would agree we needed some number 6. Our manager tried to sign Gibbs White. who is going to, or who was going to play as a number 8, a deep line playmaker, as a number 8. That's another profile of player we needed. We definitely needed a Huminson replacement, and we definitely needed a Madison replacement post injury. So that's Eberechi. Sorry, Eberechi. Yeah, and potentially some might even argue we should have gotten rid of Richarlison and gotten a new striker. Now, it seems like we're not going to go for Wisa, and the player that Fabrizio Romano linked us to was Jackson. I know some people might be happy with that, some people might not be. But yeah, so we needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 players in the starting lineup. Some might even argue, if I even want to be wicked, that we needed a new goalkeeper because none of the goalkeepers, like Kinski, is good with his feet, but Vicario is a better goalkeeper. So we needed somebody that could do both. But let's be lenient on the board and say we don't need it. But this number 9, I understand that everybody is saying, oh, Richarlison this, Richarlison that. But Richarlison is a player that, and I'm not even going to say it, I'm just going to show you people. It is proven over a couple of years that this guy doesn't stay fit. Look, it is not a thing of me saying it. It is here. It is a fact. And I get it that everybody's excited about Richarlison now. Everybody's excited about the goal. But as much as I am excited about the goal, I have to stay grounded and I have to stay objective. I have to look at the facts and look at history and look at everything, like you get, for what it is. So Richarlison is a player that hasn't stayed fit for years. So we still need a striker, and we're meant to sell a Richarlison this season. And 2 goals, 2 beautiful goals, will not change my mind because even though he has scored some beautiful goals, I can remember off the top of my head that is Everton performance. I had never seen Richarlison score from outside box. I didn't even think he had it in his locker, and he did. And I was incredibly impressed and I was excited. But once again, Richarlison's body let him down. So if there's anything to go by, history, and I'm not just talking 1 season, I'm not just talking 2 seasons, I'm talking 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, this is 1, 2, 3 seasons, 3 whole seasons at Tottenham Hotspur, and 60, 66, not even up to 100 games played by Richarlison for Tottenham Hotspur in 3 whole seasons. That is the Richarlison that I'm talking about, and that is the Richarlison that I think that Nicolas Jackson in this side would, or since that is who we're bailing to, should be replaced in the lineup. So now, let's say we remove Robinson. Yeah, we remove Robinson and we don't need Robinson. We have Jed Spence to play there. Yeah, let's say we have Jed Spence to play there. Nkapie is going to fill in for Van der Ven or compete with Van der Ven. Sorry, I'm not sure on my screen. So we have Jed Spence to fill in there. Nkapie is going to compete with Van der Ven for this left centre back and will also fill in if Udogie has an injury. Then Jed Spence moves to the right back. No problem. That is solved. We have Danzo and Dragic in here. No problem. That is solved. We've signed the Alpelina, who is the number 6 that we needed coming into this window. No problem. That is solved. And I remember a lot of people complaining last year about how a lot of our midfielders were the same profile. Like they were very similar profile of midfielders. So we needed something different, which is why a Gibbs White was very important for us. And I've linked us, or I have been shouting on this channel for a player like a Benacer, whose passing stats are absolutely incredible. Like they are unreal. But a player like that is what, or so that kind of skill set is what a Richarlison, sorry, a Gibbs White was meant to give us. We've not gotten that. So that's one that we've not gotten. Okay, we're going to get a Berechi. We've not gotten, okay, we're being linked to a left centre back, but we've also not gotten that. We've not gotten this. If anything, we've not even gotten this. We've not gotten this. And we've not gotten this. So this, we remove this from the list. Out of all the things that we needed, okay, we also needed a right winger as well. Sorry, we had a lot of holes in this team. So out of the striker that we're meant to get to replace Richarlison, who we're meant to sell this year, we've not gotten that. We've not gotten the number 8, the deep line playmaker. We've not gotten the left winger to replace Huminson. We've not gotten the number 10 to replace Madison, and we've not gotten the left centre back. So we came into this window needing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 signings, at least 7 signings, at least 7 signings. That is what we came into this window needing. And I don't say wanting, I say needing. And so far, we've only been able to get to. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, if we get Eze and we get Savino, this window is an 8/10, is a 10/10. Have you guys forgotten that we need other things as well? And that's the thing. Like, I feel like because of like how little we've done, like there's this thing that people say where they say that you can treat people bad. Let's say you're a president, you have a 4 year tenure, and in the 4 years, the first 3 years, you treat people horribly wrong, but then in the last year, you treat them the best. All they will remember is the last year. Everybody will forget the first 3 years. And I think that that's what's going on with Tottenham Hotspur fans right now. And a lot of people are forgetting that we have a lot of issues that we've still not been able to resolve. Maybe we're even living in a world because there are reports. Let me show you guys. There are reports. Excuse me. It's working now. Can you see what I'm saying? Can you see what I'm saying? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't even understand this thing. But let me show you guys what I'm talking about. When I say Ebenezer, look at his passing stats. All green. Do you get what I'm saying? We needed a deep line playmaker. Long passes, short passes. He can do everything. Do you get what I'm saying? His long passing cooperation isn't that good because it's long passes, obviously. But his passing stats are incredible. And this is the profile that we needed beside a Yao Polinia, a destroyer, a deep line playmaker. We needed that. But now, because we don't have that, we're going to need to use the likes of Romero and Pedro Porro to do that. So we don't have that profile. That's what Gibbs White was meant to give us. But remember, like I just said, we've not been able to sign Gibbs White. But yeah, I was making a point before that. I was talking about what's this guy's name again? Nkapi. So this guy that we're being linked to from I said FBRF. No, not FBRF. From Leverkusen. He has a release clause for 52 million pounds, which I find very interesting. So you're telling me we could potentially sign Eze, Savio, and Nkapi. And I think this Nkapi deal, even though there are reports saying that Nkapi, yeah, Nkapi is an important player and they don't want to sell him or whatever. He has a release clause. So if he has a release clause, it's left to the player whether the player wants to join us or not. And I find that very interesting as well. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that this is going to be very interesting. So let's even give them the benefit of a doubt and say we sign Nkapi. So we've gotten Paulinia, we've gotten Kudus, we've gotten Savio, we've gotten Eze. But mind you, Savio and Eze will be coming in after the season. Do you get what I'm saying? They're coming in after the season has started. This lack of signing the Savio and Eze has already cost us this season in terms of, in my opinion, it has cost us in the Super Cup, because if we had the likes of Savio and Eze, I think we would do, or we would have competed better against PSG. So that has already cost us. Luckily for us, it didn't cost us in the Burnley game. If we don't sign an Eze before City, that could potentially cost us again. But even aside from, let's even say we sign them. Let's say we sign them before City. Let's even live in this world where City sells Savio to us to face them. Let's live in that world where I don't think that's likely, but let's even give Tottenham Hotspur the benefit of the doubt that they are able to do that. No problem. Now, you're bringing in players that have to settle in with a group. And if there's one thing that I've been banging on all, like, for the last for the last week, I've been talking about how, even though I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan, I'm a football fan. And while I have my heart is with Spurs, when I'm doing my content, I have to try to be as objective as possible. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm a media student. I studied mass communication in school. So I think I have a fair idea of how to be balanced. But yeah, let me go away from me. Now, we're talking about Tottenham Hotspur. I think that because of, or I said that because of Arsenal have the least changes to their starting lineup compared to the likes of a Liverpool that are signing, potentially could be signing Isak, Ekitike, Vert, Kekesh, Frimpong, Guehi, potentially. That is a lot of signings and a lot of players, at least like 3, 4, 5 players will be coming into their starting lineup. That's a lot of changes into their starting lineup. These players are changing culture, they're changing environment, there are lots of variables changing in their lives, and it takes time to settle. When you're coming into a new club, you need to learn each other's movements and things like that. You need to build relationships on and off the pitch, and these things will filter into your game, and this takes time. Now, there are one-off signings who like Kudus that come into the team and just settle in like a duck to water. But how many times do you really see that happening? And if it's like one change is understandable, it's easier to settle because other people are more familiar. You're just changing one thing. But Arsenal, the only changes will be Mendy and Gyökeres. only two changes to their starting lineup. Man City, you have potentially I know Vardiol is moving to centre back. That is not a position that he has really played for City. He has been playing left back mostly. Vardiol is moved to centre back. They signed Aït-Nouri. They could potentially be signing a right back. They signed Tijani. Nico Gonzalez. He barely played for them last season, sort of like a new signing. They signed Trekkie. They've signed. They could potentially be signing Rodrigo as well. You get so there are lots of changes. So now I'm not going to come here and act like an hypocrite and say for Tottenham Hotspur, all our signings are just going to settle like a dot what. So now you're telling me these signings as well are still going to need some time to settle as well, and that might cost us some points in some games as well. Do you get what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I think that this will be a decent signing because this, you could say, like I said, a Romero, a Romero and a Poro could solve this problem for us as deep line playmakers because of their long range passing ability. So you could even excuse the Gibbs White signing. Let's say we live in a world where Thomas Frank is not as pressing heavy as Ange Postecoglou, and this is no disrespect on Ange. He gave me one of my proudest nights as a Tottenham fan, even though he gave me one of my saddest seasons as a Tottenham fan, and my mental health deteriorated. The ending was good, and like I said, a lot of people, when you give them good and bad, and it ends with good, they only remember the good, not the bad. So yeah, I'm going to remember the good with Ange. So let's even say we live in a world where Richarlison isn't pressing as much, Solanke isn't pressing as much. Strikers will get less injuries, and the two of them will be able to last the whole season. Jackson isn't a priority, so we remove these two. We still need Eberechi, who I think we're going to get over the line, inshallah, by God's grace. Savino, who I think is also a very important signing for us, and Nkapie, who I think is also going to be a very important signing for us. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out because I feel like a lot of Tottenham fans are excusing the board. So removing Nkapie and saying if we get this for, oh, that's a very good someone. But a lot of people forget that we had a lot of problems coming into this transfer window. And these signings are signings that we might need to revisit maybe next summer or in January. We don't know. Because Thomas Frank said he only wants to bring in players that can improve the squad. So who knows if we'll be signing anybody in January. But maybe next summer we'll have to revisit some of these positions. Do you get what I'm saying? So I find that very interesting that a lot of people are sort of going, oh, this is an 8/10 window, this is a 10/10 window. If we sign Izzy, if we sign Savio, if we sign Kudus, we've changed our whole front line and this and that. I find that very interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of give a sort of different view on things. So yeah, I find that very interesting. Now, I spoke about the Kubo links. I don't think they make sense in my opinion. I think, like I said, let me show you guys. So I'm not just telling you people. Let me show you. Let me show you. Share this tab instead. Takefusa Kubo, the Japanese international. This guy, very talented from Real Madrid. He was at Real Madrid. He left Real Madrid, and over the years, he has been a very talked about player. I watched him in the Olympics. I think it's the Olympics. I watched Kubo in the Olympics, and very good on the ball. Like dribbling wise, top. But my fear about Kubo, and Kubo was on my list when there was a video that I did, and I think the video has Carlos Baliba on the cover. And I spoke about how these three players Tottenham Hotspur must sign. The winger that I ended up going with was Matthias Sule. I don't know if a lot of you know him, but that is a player that I can assure you, and I'm sticking my neck on the line for him. I'm telling you guys, this guy is going to be a star making years to come. And he was one of another player that's like Dean Heising. These guys had to get rid of. Juventus had to get rid of because of financial fair play, and now he's at Roma. And this boy, he has a very bright future. So okay, I'm coming. We'll get to Kubo's matter now. Shanta left a comment. Shanta said, Saba via Sport Witness just reported it. Okay, wait, let's check. Bentancur to Fenerbahce. Autocorrect will help me. Jesus Christ. It's actually real. Are you serious? Honestly, Shanta, will I sell Bentancur? I think, funny enough, I will sell Bentancur if if and only if we get in a different, like the profile that is similar to Gibbs White, which is that deep line playmaker. If we're replacing Bentancur for the deep line playmaker, without a doubt, I sell him without thinking twice. I do. I do. But if you're telling me that we're going to sell Bentancur and we're not going to bring in anybody, then I'd rather keep Bentancur. Do you get what I'm saying? I'd rather keep Bentancur. But yeah, and I think selling Bentancur, even though I think that a lot of these kids are not ready, the thing about kids is that if you keep on saying they're not ready, they're not ready, the only way they get ready is by playing them. So selling a Bentancur will sort of make Archie the or Bergvall potentially. I think Bergvall sort of fits that role better. The number 6 after Yao, and I find that very interesting. You get what I'm saying? So one of them will have to step up at that number 6 position because Yao can't play every week. You get what I'm saying? So I find that very interesting as well. So I think a Bentancur will do that. What if we sign Sancho, LOL, only 20 million? In no world. And let me tell you, see, Sancho, I know Shanta is aware of this, but there are some players that a lot of people rate very high. That I tell people that me personally, I don't think this guy is all that. And I've said this severally. Like, there's so many players that I tell people that me, I don't see what you guys see, oh, but I hear you, but I don't see what you people see. And a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy when I say this for some players. And Sancho is one of those players. I don't see what a lot of people see in Sancho. Like, I hear you. At Dortmund, the stats were crazy, but every time Tottenham Hotspur played Dortmund back then, when we used to play Dortmund in the Champions League, I did not used to see this guy do anything. If anything, I remember Super Yan for Tonga. That game when we played Dortmund, Super Yan, I remember like a lot of like that is one very memorable Dortmund game of some. Like it was like at the point in time we're facing Dortmund almost every year. Facing Dortmund almost every year. And yeah, I found that very interesting. Like Sancho isn't a player that personally I would want at my club. And especially these two things. These two things. I can never want Sancho at my club because of that. You can't tell me like he's slow, he's a good dribbler, but is he like of the level of a Kudus? No. So even the dribbling is not really all that. You know what? Let's just check the stats. Let me not talk too much. And from the stats here, his best season was the season at Chelsea. So let's check the stats. Let me not even talk too much. I might be wrong. The stats will tell me. So Jadon Sancho. Let's see. No penalty goals. Oh my god. Sancho Bobo. So his passes, short passes. Passes into the penalty area, very good. Passes offside, very low. Challenges lost, very good. Or very high. Is that good or bad? I don't even understand. But this is where he plays his best football. Progressive carries is very good. You know what? Let's just highlight it and do what we do. So where's ChatGPT? I'm coming. New chat. Share this tab instead. So this is what I do for people that may not necessarily understand stats. Interpret these stats for me. So you highlight the stats, you carry it, the data here, and then you just tell ChatGPT to interpret it. So it will explain what is there for you. Use gold stars instead. So I tell it to use gold stars to sort of give you visuals, because this is like I said, I have a mass comm background and I understand information overload and all these things. So too many words can be overwhelming for people. So stars will be much better and easier to understand. So his goal scoring is very poor. Mind you, we've lost Son, who was a very good goal scorer for us. So you're telling me we should replace him with this guy? Very poor. Almost no threat. I love that. He barely shoots as well. Maybe it's how Chelsea used him though. I think Chelsea sort of used him as a touchline winger, to be fair to him. In his defense, Chelsea used him as a touchline winger, and that is why they got in a Gittins, who, if you check, let me show you. Gittins is very similar to Sancho in the sense that I think he scored one goal or something crazy like that last season because they used him as a touchline winger because of his dribbling is elite. Okay, 24, 25. Oh, 12 goals. Are you serious? In the Bundesliga, 8 goals. Okay, wow. I didn't even know it was that much. Wow. But they used him as a touchline winger. And because, like, even though his stats are not amazing, you can see his rating is very good because he was able to impact the game from other ways, even though he was not scoring and assisting. So yeah, that's one thing that I would excuse him for. But Gittins sort of fits that profile more as a touchline winger because his dribbling ability is elite. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So I can excuse him for that. Let's give him the benefit of doubt that he was mostly at the touchline, so his attacking output is very poor, and he barely shoots as well because he's not in shooting positions. So we can excuse him for that. Now, the one thing that they brought him for is this. Then, if you're not goal scoring, then you're meant to be creating chances and things like that. Assists and chance creation, average. Key passes into the danger area. He's strong at feeding attackers. Mind you, he had attackers like Jackson, who also float about, by the way. Pass completion and ball security. So he is very safe on the ball. He retains the ball very well. Progressive carries and dribbling, top tier. Still slippery. What does still slippery mean? ChatGPT, is this meant to be a joke? If it was, I didn't understand it. But anyways, progressive carries and dribbling is very good. Carries into the penalty area, 4 star or 4.5. Receiving progressive passes, his position is excellent, so 5 stars. His defensive, Chantal, you know me, you know me. This is where I end this conversation. But anyways, defensive pressing and tackling, especially under Thomas Frank, is a non-negotiable. Interceptions and block almost non, almost non-existent. Almost non-existent. Interceptions and blocks provides nothing defensively. This guy makes Martinelli look like he defends well. Jesus Christ. Ball recoveries, oddly strong at picking up loose balls. So he picks up loose balls quite well. But like defending, no thank you. Okay. Touches in the attacking area is very good. Keeping the ball under pressure, he's not even that very good. So he can't even serve as a Jack Grealish for us if we want him to hold up the ball and let players basically move us off the pitch. He can't do that. Too many miscontrols and losses. He fouls a lot. So even for somebody that is barely good at tackling and pressing, he still fouls a lot. So his progression and link up play is very good. Creativity, 3 star. Finishing and end product, 1 star. Defensive work, 1 star. Look at this. Does this look like somebody that you should sign, even if it's 20 million? And like Thomas Frank said, we only want players that are going to improve our squad. Okay, so Sanchez and Shanta has left some comments. Okay, no, I've read this one. I've read this one. What if we hijack Ganacho on Kukulomo? Let me tell you, see Ganacho. Ganacho now. Ganacho is a very interesting player because Ganacho is a good player, but he's still very raw. And I don't see we're already going through it with the likes of Achigre, with the likes of Matistel, with the likes of Odebe. Chill. There are a couple people watching right now, and I can only see 2 likes. Please, I beg every single one of you, please smash the like button. If you're new here, please subscribe and turn on post notifications. Please. Thank you. It's the least you can do. Please and thank you. Thank you very much, guys. But yeah, Ganacho is very raw. We've already gone through it with likes of or we're already going through it with likes of Odebe, Achigre, with likes of Odebe, Achigre, Matistel. Like we still have a lot of players that we're developing. I can't sign another developing player. I need a player that is ready to step into the first team now. That's why I can't sign Ganacho. Now, on Nkunku. Nkunku is another interesting player because if Chelsea's team can't keep Nkunku fit, what about the Tottenham Hotspur team? Do you think that Tottenham Hotspur's medical team is going to be able to keep Nkunku fit? Shanta, come on. We've seen what the Tottenham Hotspur medical team is like. I don't think we have a chance keeping the likes of Anukunku fit. Um, if you know what, um, sorry, I'm coming. Let me create a poll. Um, who, this is the first time I'm doing this, by the way. Who would you rather have? So we have Savio. Let me check. Who are the wingers that we've been linked to? We have Savio, we have Eze, and we have Nkapi. Okay, now who would you rather have? Let's say, who do you think? What is the most priority? Who is which position or which sign? Hey, how do I phrase this now? Which signing? Which position? Which position signing? Which signing position? Which position? Oh my god! Wait, I'm coming. Babatunde. That's a Yoruba name. I'm coming. I'm coming, Shanta. Which position or which signing is most important? Okay, yeah, I think that's the best way to phrase it. Savio, left winger, Eze, Cam, Nkapie, left back slash left centre back. Start poll. So you have sent in a poll. You guys should please respond. Let me know where you guys think is a priority sign. I know Shanta is already going to pick Cam. I'm 100.1% sure Shanta is going to pick Cam. So yeah. Let me see the other comments. I know that is a Cam 100%. I know it's Shanta. I don't even need to. I don't even need to. Kidding. I know it's Shanta. So what else again? I feel we'll still get Savinho. Fabrizio just reported that City are heavily linked to Rodrigo. If this happened, I swear I can change my name to Babatunde. How do you go from Shantano to Babatunde? That's that's just like incredible. Why do you even know the name Babatunde? Why do you even know that? Yeah, I have this vein on my head whenever I laugh sometimes. I don't know why. But yeah, why would you even do that? How do you even know that name? What? Are you serious? You know, that's I think that's my brother's name, by the way. Like that's my brother's Yoruba name, Babatunde. That's actually my brother's Yoruba name. I find that very interesting. And you've not been to Nigeria, Shanta? Are you serious? Very sus. Well, anyways, I feel like I'd rather sign Brandt and play Easy on the left wing. Julian Brandt is one of those players that, like, Julian Brandt is one of those players that has been linked to or has been doing very well for years, but like is one of those players that you don't understand why they never got a move. And I think now Brandt should be like 29. Yeah, how do I even know this? Jesus Christ. But yeah, like he has been doing well for years, like especially this period here. I don't know if he didn't get a move here. I don't think he's ever really getting that move. I don't think he's ever really getting that move. Like he's one of those players where I just feel like they're very unlucky. Like even there was this player, I don't know if you guys remember him, John Joe Shelby. I thought John Joe Shelby was a very good player, but then like he's just one of those players like that really never got the opportunity to go to a bigger team. I don't know. I don't know. Some players are just unlucky. Like sometimes luck also has to do with it. Like you could be very talented, but like if you're just one of these unlucky people, it is what it is. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, even like Zaha as well. Like, there's just some players that you just never understand why they never got that move. Some might even argue Musa Dembele, like his ceiling was above Tottenham and all these type of players. It's luck. So my dad's manager is Babatunde. That's incredibly interesting. That's my brother's name. Incredibly interesting. What are the odds? But yeah, so yeah, another player that we've been linked to, and this is a very interesting one, is what's the name? Is see, can you imagine? Only one person has voted. You people in this life, you are very non-participant or non-participant. That's very poor. Please like and vote. Let me know your thoughts. Kane back to Spurs next summer. He has a 52 million release clause. Bruh, let me just tell you, yeah. See, I have a problem with Harry Kane. I have a problem with Harry Kane. And I know a lot of Tottenham fans will probably have my head for this. But I think that a lot of people see Kane in a way that I know this might seem crazy and I might seem very, very ungrateful. But there are just certain things that Harry Kane has done to Tottenham Hotspur that really stabbed me in the heart. And let me explain. I'm adjusting my table for this because this is one that I've even made a video. There's a video on my channel, like a normal YouTube video, not a live, where I spoke about this whole Hurricane thing. So let's go back a couple years ago. I was in love with Hurricane just like every Tottenham Hotspur fan. I remember saying one day when I was back in uni, saying when I was watching Hurricane, and I was like, I am genuinely honored as a fan to have watched Harry Kane play for Tottenham Hotspur. You know, there are some players that like people watch and people tell you, "Oh my God, this guy was so good." Like Paul Gascoigne and all these players that I hear about. I haven't necessarily gone to YouTube to watch their videos, but I'm very grateful that while HK played for us, I watched him like while he was at Spurs. Then fast forward to I think was it 2021 or 2022 when Harry wanted to go to Manchester City. Now, at this point, Harry wants to go to City, and this is my brother here, the one that is named Babatunde, just entered my room. But yeah, that's very interesting. But yeah, what was I saying? So Harry wants to go to City, and it's like he wants to leave Tottenham. Now, mind you, at that point in time, Tottenham were going through a very difficult period. In contrast to him, we have Son, who basically makes it clear that he's going nowhere. That moment is very significant. Aside from that, a lot of people say Harry Kane, oh, he scored so many goals for Tottenham, he did this, he did that. The most, before this Europa League, the most important period in our. Shanta, you're joking. I'm coming. Let me check. Shanta, don't play with me. Stop. Stop. Please tell me you're joking. Oh my God. Oh my! I was about to check my Instagram on my. Nice one, nice one, nice one, Shanta. Nice one, nice one, nice one. But yeah, a nice one, nice one. Anyways, that moment, the most significant moment in our history, aside from the Europa League, like before the Europa League, was the Champions League final. The Champions League final. If you guys remember, I think Harry Kane got injured around, I think the Dortmund game or something. I think it was Dortmund that we played, or around that period in group stage when we played. I remember the run of games we played Dortmund. I remember because we were playing Dortmund like every year. We played Dortmund and Harry Kane got injured in the group stage. If you guys remember, and the most significant performance was the Man City game when Pep called us the Hurricane team. And Son scores, and Son goes to the camera and he's shouting. This was the most arrogant I've ever seen Son in my life, by the way. He goes to the camera and he's looking at the camera and shouting, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?" And I was like, "Yes, yes, that's my player. I know who you are. I know who you are." But yes, that moment when we needed somebody, Harry Kane wasn't there. Son stepped up, home and away against Manchester City. And that was the season when Heung-min Son started scoring goals for us. So Son stepped up. No problem. Games go on. We players like Laurenti steps up. Players like Lucas Moura steps up. We get to the final. Lucas Moura gets us to the final. Harry Kane knows he's not fit. He has not played in 3 months. Harry Kane, being selfish, not thinking about the club, tells the manager he's fit. The manager, who is an absolute goat, and if he was here, I would knock his head, plays Harry Kane. We lose the game. Harry Kane is dog shit in the game. Harry Kane is dog shit in the game. How is that a Tottenham Hotspur legend, in my opinion? How is that somebody who loves the club? Son, in the final, knows that Richarlison is going to be better for the team. The manager picks Richarlison over him. No problem. You will do what is best for the team. It's not about you. Harry Kane, to make it worse, there was this interview. I can't forget it. I can't forget these things. I can't. There was one interview. I think it was either on Sky Sports or on ESPN. One of them. I think it was on Sky Sports. After he moved to Bayern, he came out talking about how the mentality at the clubs are different. At Tottenham, you can lose 5 games in a row and nobody will say anything. At Bayern, you lose 1 game, everybody's on your back and this and that. I don't think that is completely true. And even if it is, you, who comes from Tottenham Hotspur Academy, which is supposed to be one of our own, you don't come out and say something like that. Then they ask him, Harry, were you there's some talk, there's always some talk about how you were not fit in the final and whatever. He says, oh no, I was fit. A lot of people just say that if you lose, you lose, kinikon, and all sorts of rubbish. He's just saying rubbish in that interview. And I don't know how a lot of people don't remember that. I don't know why a lot of people think about Harry Kane and like remember him fondly, because I do not. I do not. So now he's saying things like that in the press conference. Mind you, this guy, we got to how many semifinals? How many finals? Mention one. One that Harry Kane turned up for. One. Not just for Tottenham Hotspur, for England too. Against France, Harry Kane has to make 2 penalties. He scores the first one against France. And I remember that game because Mbappe was like this, ha ha ha, and he was laughing when Harry Kane missed the penalty. You have a penalty, 2 penalties for England. Harry Kane, score. Big game player, score. What does he do? He skies it. And that's the player that comes to Tottenham Hotspur and tells us that we have a losing mentality. That's the player that comes and says, oh, it doesn't matter if you win or lose in Tottenham. You, of all people, you open your mouth to talk. A lot of people find this crazy, and a lot of people think I'm very ungrateful whenever I talk about Harry Kane. I respect him. He's a good player. He's a good player when nothing is on the line. He's a good player when there's no pressure. But when pressure hits, when you need him at that moment, when you need him to actually score goals, when it's not against Burnley, when it's not against Manchester United in the league, when it's in a final against the best, for you to score goals, HK doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. So a lot of people remember him fondly, but I don't. And personally, as good a player as he is, I don't think I want him back at this club. Is he better than all the things we have? Without a doubt. Does he improve us as a team? Without a doubt. But just because of some of the things that this guy has done, just because of some of the things that this guy has said about this club, I don't want him back. And it's shocking to me that a lot of people still look back at this guy fondly. And I see a lot of people, a lot of Tottenham channels, they say, oh, Harry Kane, wouldn't we want to have him back? Harry Kane this, Harry Kane that. I don't remember this guy that way. I don't. And if anything, in my opinion, and this is just my own opinion, I don't know how everybody else feels, but this is just my own opinion. In my opinion, I wouldn't even say this guy is a Tottenham Hotspur legend, because while he was a legend before the Europa League win, and I know that seems extreme, but while Harry Kane was a legend before the Europa League win, I think that Son and the team that Harry Kane left, by the way, Harry Kane abandoned, by the way, has set the bar higher for Tottenham Hotspur legends. That's my honest opinion. And I don't think that today, as of right now, I would tell you, or you would ask me if Harry Kane is a Tottenham Hotspur legend, and I will tell you yes, because he didn't win anything with this club. And now we can say that because of players like Heung-min Son that didn't leave us, we can say that if you haven't won anything, you're not a Tottenham Hotspur legend. With Harry Kane, it's personal. Honestly, it's very personal, because it's not even just about you saying things. Like, it's one thing for you to come out and say, oh, at Tottenham, it doesn't matter if you win. It doesn't matter if you do this. It doesn't matter if you do that. But if you, as a player, you call yourself a world-class striker, you can't turn up for your club. Okay, your get out of jail free card is you're playing against superior teams. For England, uncle, for England, your country, where you guys are one of the favorites every year you have the best players. Every year you have better players around you. Why don't you turn up for them too? Every year, every final, every semi-final. In the final, in the Euros final, who scored for England? I think it was Luke Shaw. So don't come here and tell me that my Tottenham Hotspur team don't know how to win. I wouldn't. I'm sorry that I've gone on this whole rant about Harry, but whenever I see like comments like this, Shanta, it really pisses me off because all I remember like is the way things panned out. How this guy, how this guy. I remember when Nuno came to this club. Nuno came to this club, a new manager. Try to support the manager. Try to back the manager. You're one of the leaders in the dressing room. Try to get behind the manager. Son is playing for this manager. Hurricane down tools. Hurricane down tools until Conte comes and then he starts playing. And then he starts playing. And that season, that was the reason why Son was able to win the Golden Boot. That was the reason why Son, I think that was the season Son won the Golden Boot. Because Harry down tools. And Harry wasn't scoring. Then when the second half of the season came, then he started creating for Son. Because Son already was getting most of the goals and we're using Kane as the 10 and Son as the 9 and advance forward. Moments like that, I can't forgive him for. I can't remember him fondly. I can't. I can't. I honestly can't. I can admire him as a player, respect, but for me to feel the love that I used to have for Harry before, never. I'm sorry, but never. Not in this life and not in next. I'm sorry, but never. I can never feel that way towards him. I can never feel that way towards him. And I find it mind-boggling how a lot of people remember this guy fondly. Because, like, if if you were to bring the facts and see the things that this guy actually did to Tottenham, bro, that's not how a legend acts. That's not how somebody who loves a club acts. That's not how somebody who loves something acts. That's not somebody who loves you, somebody who claims that he's one of your own, doesn't go out there publicly to talk down on your club. He doesn't go out there publicly amongst each other. Like now, me now here talking to Tottenham Hotspur fans because I know Tottenham Hotspur. This is a talking Tottenham show. I don't do. I've so far I've not done talking on any other club show. I'm a Tottenham fan. I talk about the top nine and I talk about Tottenham. Maybe as I grow my channel, I will start talking about other clubs. But I'm a Tottenham fan, and majority of the time, the people that watch this content, this talking, all things Tottenham, are Tottenham fans. Amongst us here, Tottenham fans, I can tell you the truth. Like there's this saying where if family members enter a room and have a serious conversation and they come out laughing, they've not told each other the truth. But if you come out and somebody's crying, then they told each other the truth. As Tottenham Hotspur fans here, I can tell you people the truth. But if somebody else tries to talk down on my club, I will defend my club in public. In the face of others, I will defend my club. But in here, when I'm with my own, I will tell them the truth. Do you get what I'm saying? I will tell them the truth because these are my people. We are one family. We are one club. This is us. But you don't go out there and show your dirty laundry. You don't go out there and leave a club and talk bad about the club. If anything, that says a lot about your character as a person. And that is very, it left a very distasteful feeling in my own mouth. I don't know about the rest of Tottenham fans, but I see a lot of people saying, oh, Hurricane back every summer. Hurricane, Hurricane, Hurricane. Me, personally, I would not have him anywhere near this club. Thank you for your service. Thank you for all the goals, but don't come near my club anymore. Thank you for your service. You can go. That's just my opinion on this Hurricane thing. I'm sorry I've gone on a huge rant. I've spent like probably over 20 minutes talking about this thing, but it's something that really, you can tell that it really got to me. It really did. And is one of those things that I have a real problem with. How people see this guy and think, oh, Hurricane this, Hurricane that. And a lot of people forget some of the very horrible things this guy did to this club. Honestly, it's really, really, really interesting. So yeah, a player that we've been linked to, moving on from HK, a player that we've been linked to is this brother. Let me show you guys. So let me zoom out. Oh, so I zoom in because of the ad. Don't want to show any ad. Rogers. This is not spell, isn't it? Morgan. Sorry. Morgan. Oh, Rogers. No D. Okay. So this is another player we've been linked to. And you know what? Before we even check anything else, let's first go to his data so we understand his profile. So it's raw jars. Yeah. Okay. So let's first go to his data. I don't know. I don't know. You guys should let me know if you think like if you feel the same way about Hurricane as me. Cause like I feel like I'm in a very small minority on this Hurricane thing. Is this not the Morgan Rogers that everybody was hyping? What is this data? I don't understand. Ah, 2024-2025 Premier League season. Ah, is this Morgan Rogers? Hey, hey, shocker. Okay. This ChatGPT has been acting weird. Interpret these stats. Use gold stars. So I'll wait for it to finish. Um, wow. Okay. So his attacking output is incredible. That's goals plus assists. Solid end product. He doesn't shoot much, but when he does, he's efficient and usually makes it count. Creativity and passing 3 star. Assist very good. Through balls. Elite. Wow. Has vision. But overall passing volume is very low. So he doesn't shoot much. He doesn't he doesn't shoot much and he doesn't pass much. But when he does, is good. Wait, or what? It's very low and completion is just 30 second percentile. Not a very oh, so his passing is bad, but his through balls is good. How can you not pass, but you can give through balls? That is incredibly interesting. But to be fair, Villa play a lot in transition, to be fair. So it's understandable. So his take-ons is a very strong 1v1 winger and confident in beating defenders. His progressive carries are above average. He loses the ball often due to miscontrols and dispossessed, being dispossessed and miscontrols. Interesting. His defensive work is poor. He barely makes interceptions. He doesn't use his size well in the air. What's his height? Let me check. Morgan Rogers' height. 6'1". Wow. He doesn't use his size well. Only 20% aerial win rate. That is poor for somebody that is 6'1". Jesus Christ. Wow, 20%. Ha. Works better in attack focused systems than pressing heavy ones. And that's not going to work for Tottenham or Thomas Frank's Tottenham. That is not going to work. So I think it's clear to see that this brother doesn't even fit us, which makes you question why we're even being linked to him in the first place. But anyways, that is not the profile of player from what I'm seeing here in the data that fits us. Another player we've been linked to is Piero. I think it's Piero Capie. Is it Piero? Let me check. Yes. Yeah, Piero. Piero Capie. So we're going to compare him to centre backs. I have not gone through the stats, but I'm seeing a lot of greens, and that's very good. Let's check compared to fullbacks. A lot of greens as well. Incredibly interesting. So he can play as a left back and he can play as a what they call it, He can also play as a left center back. So interpret this stats. So this is we're comparing him to center backs now, so we understand his profile for me. So he's 23. He has played a lot of minutes, 3,400 minutes. Left-footed CB who can also play left back. Still in development, yes, but already very polished. He's not a traditional destroyer. His profile screams. This is incredibly interesting because you guys know how on the right side, what if I sign for Spurs and play left wing? Would you rate me, Teslim? I'll also join as Babatunde, not Shantam. This boy is just catching my cruise. I swear to God. Shanta, stop playing with me. I'm being serious. We have an actual issue here at left wing. We have an actual crisis at left wing. And you're telling me what if you sign for Spurs and play left? You know the thing, yeah? Use I wouldn't take you because if there's anything here, at least Brennan scores. I don't even know if you can score. I don't even know if you can score. I don't even know if you can score. So yeah, let me see. I wouldn't take you, Santa. Sorry. I'll take you as a pundit though. I'll take you as. Do you watch like Tottenham Hotspur YouTube content, like the one that they do on the channel? I'll take you as that. You know, to replace that guy that does the Spurs match inside Spurs thing. I'll replace you with that guy. That's the role I'll give. Use stars, gold stars. Shanta, that's the role I will give you. I said gold. Can you see ChatGPT? See you gold stars. Look at what it's giving me. This thing is very hard to see. That's why I always say gold stars. You donkey. Let me see. So this is him as a center back compared to center backs. Non-penalty goals compared to center backs. Very high for a defender. Dangerous on set pieces. Incredibly interesting. How tall is he? Nkapie height 1.84, 6 feet, 6 feet tall. Okay, so non-penalty goals is very good. Shot creating actions. It actively contributes to attacks. Progressive carries. Elite. Wow, is that good? Yeah, oh, sorry, I went on a tangent before Shanta asked this question. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Let me refresh this page so I can build the team again. So let's do this. Nkapie, we have no. Let's say we are in a situation where we have Danzo and Nkapie. So when we have Kuti, oh God, sorry, my brain is just going zigzag. When we have Kuti, yeah, when we have Kuti, this guy is more of a ball playing center back, but Van de Ven is more of a ball carrier, and I find that very interesting because in this in the stats here, he says that Nkapie is a ball playing center back, but he also says that Nkapie, let me check for you guys, is also very good at progressive carries, so he can do both, which is very interesting. Nico Williams is not coming to Tottenham Hotspur. If he didn't go to Barca, he's not coming to Tottenham. And I think they removed the release clause. I think they removed the release clause or they increased it. Let me check. Let me just confirm. Nico Williams release clause 2025. Yeah, it was 58 million euros, but now it's 90 million euros. He increased it. He's never leaving there. Hello, Favor. How you doing? It's nice to see you here. So yeah, Shanta, we can't sign Nico, and Nico wouldn't come to Tottenham if Nico didn't go to Barca. He's not going to come to Tottenham. So yeah, I think that this guy Nkapie is going to be really interesting because as good a defender as Danzo is, He's not really the best on the ball. So having, oh, I'm not even sharing my screen. Having as good a defender as Danzo is, he's not really the best on the ball. So having Kapi here to complement him is going to be, no, no, he's Nigerian. He's Nigerian. She's Nigerian actually. He's a Nigerian name. It's not India. It's Idika. I think it's Idika. Favor. I think Favor is Idika. But yeah, Shanta is that also like a um a this thing name. I don't know what just happened. But yeah, I can't see the chat anymore. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Let me see. Stop sharing my screen. I can't see my chat. I don't know what's going on. And I can't even tell the number of people in the again. But yeah, so yeah, I'll just continue because I can't see the chat. I can't see the number of people in the stream. Everything is gone. And I have no clue why. That is incredibly interesting. Wow. I'll just continue. But anyways, so yeah, having Nkapie here to complement him is going to be very interesting. And I think that is going to do us the world of good long term. So yeah, what else again? So yeah, let's check. Let's go back to the data. So his passing volume is very good, 4 stars. He's involved in the build up constantly. His pass completion is poor because he takes risks. His key passes is incredible for a CB, considering, and mind you, he plays, I think, left center back or left back as well. His crossing is very good. His defensive work, tackling is very good. His interceptions and blocks is good. He doesn't really clear the ball. So he's weak in a low block. Incredibly interesting. His aerial duels are average. Mind you, he plays in a back three in Leverkusen. And Leverkusen is also a team that dominate the ball. So yeah. Um, touches and build up is this is very weird. I actually can't see if anybody's commenting anymore. I can't see anything anymore. And I don't know why that happened. But anyways, I'll just continue. I can't see comments, I can't see the people in the show, I can't see anything anymore. And I don't know why. And I don't want to end the stream. So I'll just continue. That's weird. So if you're leaving a comment, I'm not ignoring you. I genuinely can't see anything. And I don't know why. Since I've started using this YouTube live, it has been quite the experience. I would explain why people don't use it. But yeah, too much at least. So yeah, touches is heavily involved. He carries into the final third are really good. Take ons, he doesn't dribble past players well. Well, he's a centre back and he's press resistant and he wins fouls. So yeah, he's a 4-star defender compared to centre backs. Let's do another one comparing him to fullbacks. So we'll do new chat. So ChatGPT doesn't know the data. Interpret these stats for me. I wonder if this thing will fix back and like bring the chat back. I wonder if we'll rectify it. So I don't know. Um, use gold stars. So yeah, compared to left backs now, passing and build up elite, aerial duels, 4-star, excellent in the air despite lean frame. He wins most duels. Ball progression by carries, 4-star, aggressive defending. So he's an aggressive defender. He steps out of the defense. Mind you, he plays in a back three. So he steps out to win the ball back. 1v1 defending in space is poor. He's prone to fouls, occasional lapses in concentration. Possession under pressure is poor. Wow. This is compared to left backs. So his tactical versatility, good. Defensive duels and aerials, 4 stars. Ball progression and passing. So one thing that is sure is that on the ball he's really good, but a lot of different stats on his defending. So yeah, that's incredibly interesting. But mind you, he's still 23, has a lot of experience, has won some trophies, has gone a whole season unbeaten in the league. So if his mentality, I think it's fair to say he has it. And the first team in a minute in the Bundesliga to dethrone Bayern. So I find that very interesting. Let me try and check if I'm still live. Like I want to check my channel if you guys can still see me live because I can't see anything. So I'm still live. I'm still live and you guys are still watching, but I can't see comments or anything. That's incredibly interesting. Okay, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to I'm live now. So I've opened my video in the background and muted it. So because I can't see it on the YouTube live anymore, I have the comment section open here. So instead, I am watching your comments from here. So Shanta said, how about we sign Trossard? How about we sign Trossard? Okay, Trossard. So my screen, wait, my screen hasn't been sharing. Are you serious? Now this thing is acting very weird, and I don't understand why. So you guys can't see my screen because I'm watching myself now. You guys couldn't even see my screen. I don't know why. I can't see the chat. I'm not seeing. You guys are not seeing my screen. I don't know. It's very weird. But yeah, I don't know why it's acting weird. So he said, how about we sign Trossard? In no world are we going to sign Trossard, Chantal. There's no world where we sign Trossard. It's not even just about it's not even just about it's not even just about like signing Trossard or not signing Trossard. It's about Trossard's age. Firstly, how old is Trossard? Let me check. Trossard is 30, and his birthday is when? I don't know when his birthday is, but he's 30 years old. He's an Arsenal player. There is no world where we sign Trossard. I don't think that is likely in any way, shape, or form. I don't think so. I personally don't think so. I think that if we don't sign if we don't sign what's his name? If we don't sign Trossard, I said Trossard Savio, I don't even know where we go from here. I don't even know where we go from here because I don't know anybody that I think is a good fit for what we're trying to do. And I find that very interesting. So Favor here said, no, it's a native name from Abia State in Nigeria. I told you Shanta. So Favor, Shanta is Indian, I believe. I think, yes, I believe you're Indian. Shanta said he's Indian. But he lives in America. Sorry, he's studying in America and he his dad works in Nigeria, in Lagos, by the way. So his dad works in Nigeria. So Shanta is Indian. Yeah, I think Shanta is Indian. So yeah, so yeah, that's Shanta. So yeah, basically, that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say, honestly, because now is more difficult because I can't share my screen. I don't know what's going on. I'm sharing my screen and it's not showing. I can't see the chat. I'm having to open the live here to go through you people's comments. I don't know. Everything is just acting up. But yeah, that's what I have for you guys today, honestly. And thank you so much for the support. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Chantal, for your comments. Thank whoever is the second person that voted. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful to you. I'm very grateful to every single one of you. And please leave a like before you go. So YouTube helps push this comment, accept comment this channel, and it will help my channel grow. Please subscribe if you're new here and you like the content, and turn on post notifications. And I'm very grateful to every single one of you. Favor says, "You're welcome. See you tomorrow." Thank you. Thank you for the support, Favor. I'm very grateful. So yeah, you guys take care, guys, and I'll see you guys next time on Not Thunder Narratives. I'm so sorry I had to end the stream early because YouTube live is acting weird, and I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 p.m. every day. Please leave a like, please subscribe, please turn on those post notifications, and I'll see you guys next time. So yeah, au revoir, people. Take care and bye bye.